So, Bitcoin is really not a currency that is going to support a global economy. And another thing is that I don't like about Bitcoin, if we're going to have a real global system, we need to discourage hoarding. The problem with capitalism as it is there's pros and cons. Lots of pros. There's more pros than cons. So I'm a libertarian capitalist. I'm not saying that there's a better system out there, but we've got to handle things more algorithmically and more fairly and ethically. And right now, a big problem with the system is it encourages hoarding. What is hoarding? Billionaires don't really need hundreds of billions of dollars. Now, let me compare like Elon versus Jeff Bezos or pretty much any of the other billionaires, because most billionaires are hoarders. Elon is not a hoarder. His equity is mostly stock. He doesn't pay himself billions of dollars of salary. Hoarding means like you have billions of dollars in the bank and you buy 50 houses, or you park $1 billion into a single luxury super mega yacht. That's not good for the economy. I mean, there's this argument that, well, they hire luxury people to scrub their toenails, and that's true, but there's not a multiplier effect with that. So I'm calling it hoarding, okay, for the sake of this argument. Hoarding means I just earned billions of dollars and I'm gonna just buy gold and bury it in my backyard, and it's fair to do that. I'm not saying that the government should decide. I mean, that's what free markets are all about. So you should be able to decide what you do with your money. That's not the point. You want to create a system that encourages, not forces, but encourages investment. You're always going to have hoarders. You're always going to have people who are miserly and they don't want to do anything and they're greedy and they're just bad people. But you want to have a system which encourages reinvestment and philanthropy and charity, and you want to basically increase the velocity of money, but not in a toxic way. So the CBDC social credit thing increases the velocity of money by basically saying, well, you have $10,000, but you have to spend it today. That's not a solution too. But there are ways you can ethically and in a healthy way encourage spending and investment. More investment is basically, you want to encourage investment more than spending. And there's a lot of ways to do this, by tax incentives, like you could tax people who over a period of 6 months don't invest 20% of their income or something. That's just one thing. There are other ways, many other ways, but Bitcoin doesn't do that. Bitcoin does not encourage, it encourages hoarding basically, because everyone is a hodler and you're just holding and then you never sell, and so it doesn't create any economic value. What you want is a system that's very active. Velocity of money is how quickly money turns over. Like I buy a product and that vendor takes the money and buys a product, and then that vendor takes the money and buys a product, and so on and so forth. It's a big cycle. And you want that velocity to be high, and you want investment to be high. You don't want people to, I mean, the other problem is people have taken this, like the stock market is investment, and the problem is the stock market, the public stock market, has become a big game. So the companies are trying to hit certain numbers, like next quarter's numbers and so on and so forth, and they're not I mean, no, they're using capital to do things, but this public stock market has become, I don't know what the word is, gamified. It's become like a game, both for the investors and for the companies that are raising money. You know, it's not like, I mean, it's different than what an example of, to contrast that with what's not a game. So for example, you have a young neighbor who has a hot dog stand, but he needs the food truck, right? And you buy him a food truck, you give him the $50,000, $100,000 to get the food truck, and he goes and sells hot dogs. That's a real capital investment. He needs the food truck, and that's a real investment. So Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is not encouraging that type of system. It's discouraging, and it's encouraging hoarding. So that's why I think Bitcoin is not like a sustainable solution for running a global economy.